Hi, my name is Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss the new agreement on tariff reductions between the United States and the European Union and consider where that leaves the supposed benefits of the UK having left the EU in order to pursue a better trade deal with the US, which is of course a much smaller market and trading partner. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So, yeah, one of the main arguments used to persuade people to vote for Brexit in 2016 was the notion that we could somehow negotiate better trade deals outside of the EU, the largest trading bloc in the world, a trading bloc that has expanded its influence even further since that fateful year. And the United States was used as Exhibit A because the EU don't have a full free trade deal with the US. We have, well, the EU had trade agreements with the US, but not a full trade deal. And it was argued that somehow an isolated UK would be able to obtain such a deal and that it would be better for us. It was never really explained how, or indeed, that it would be beneficial to drop our free trade with the EU, a much larger and wealthier trading collective than the US, with whom much more of our trade depends and who are a lot closer to us. But there it was. Now roll on 4 years and the government have forced us out of the EU with a so-called oven-ready deal. That in reality looks more like a manky turkey not fit for feeding to dogs. But the US trade deal was going to make it all right. 4 years later, we weren't going to be part of the single market, even though Brexit groups said that we would before the referendum. In fact, the default position at the moment was to not have a trade deal with the EU at all. If the EU would like to accept our bullshit, then maybe we'll give them a trade deal if they're really well behaved. That's the official government policy. Because the US trade deal was the thing. And that's the thing that's going to make every downside to Brexit all right. Must be stupendous, this US trade deal. Oh, it is, said Boris Johnson. So how good can it be then? Let me get the Treasury to do a few sums for you. Then the answer came back. Good news, everybody. Good news. There's a very good chance that this US trade deal could boost our economy by 0.2%. You what? 0.2%. I know, right? It's great. So we're cancelling trade deals and agreements all over the world, lowering our GDP dramatically, a drop of 5.5% in lost trade to the EU alone, for a 0.2% boost from America. Yeah. But the thing is, that 0.2% was an estimate. I mean, it wouldn't have to change very much at all for it to be a net negative to the economy. I mean, it's basically zero as it is. And now it's gone even lower because, well, that 0.2% boost was based on our current arrangements with the US. That is to say, the EU's current trading arrangements with the United States, because that's what we were benefiting from whilst in the transition period. But the UK haven't been the only ones negotiating for better trading terms with the United States. The EU were also doing so, and with a little bit more impact, because this week they have been able to announce an agreed package of increased tariff reductions for hundreds of millions of dollars worth of trade in both directions between the two most powerful markets in the world. And they didn't have to accept agricultural products or indeed any other products that do not meet EU standards either. Not a hint of chlorinated chicken anywhere in sight. I'm sorry, the house seems to be blowing down. Now here is the thing. So our own pro-Brexit government came up with a figure of a free trade deal with the United States being worth a boost to our GDP of 0.2% compared to the mere trade agreements, which is not a full trade deal, with the EU. Well, now those trade agreements between the US and the EU are even better. And it's still not a free trade deal. which means that the 0.2% boost will inevitably have gone down because what you were comparing it to is going to be improved. So that means that were it to be recalculated with the new tariff reductions in mind, the US deal would inevitably be a net drag on our economy now because, like I say, you didn't have to change it very much for it to be negative. The only way this could not be the case is if you were to imagine that all of the new tariff reductions were, from the US point of view, were entirely for goods not exported by the UK. But when you look at some of the items mentioned in the US tariff reductions agreement, many of those products are exported by the UK, so it absolutely, these terms would have benefited us. So yeah, the EU's better trade agreements with the US are now inevitably better for the UK than the free trade deal that the UK hopes to obtain from the United States. So we're now in a position where officially our government's ambition is to get a deal with the US that is worse for our economy than what we could have had as an EU member. In addition, you have to bear in mind that this agreement between the EU and the US will not at all have considered goods that would have been particularly helpful for UK exports because we weren't involved in negotiations, we're not members. So if we were still not just a member but an active member, because even in the last few years when we were a member, we weren't taking part in things like this. So if we were still a fully committed active member of the EU, and we were one of the top three, we'd have been pushing for and gotten some reductions on goods that would have been very helpful for us, which would have boosted our export market by even more. But this is where we are. Boris Johnson's government begging and pleading with the United States to give us a trade deal that is worse than the one that we are giving up right now. I mean, it's very much like, yes, I'd like to return this Aberdeen Angus steak, and if you could give me an economy hamburger, that'd be great. And that would be tragic enough if we were getting this US trade deal that is now, well, it was going to be a 0.2 boost to our economy. It's now going to be a negative. But we're not. Johnson is reportedly desperately trying to suck up to Joe Biden, as there is belief amongst UK officials that Trump has little chance of winning this November. Don't want to jinx anything. And also he was too erratic for them anyway. They'd rather deal with Biden, apparently. The US-UK talks have been put back until next year at least. And it remains to be seen if a future President Biden, if that is indeed what happens this November, would want to spare much time for serious talks with the UK. It is unlikely to be his top priority. So the bottom line is that we are losing our trading arrangements with the United States, as well as the EU, and most of the world, in fact, chasing this Brexit dream come nightmare. Cannot wait to see the mental gymnastics that the Brexit crew are going to have to try and turn to get this latest event squared with their philosophy of ruin. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.